Sure. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In a seat, she took a few pictures of the Telegram flow.
Good morning, my friends. How are we doing out there?
That detail, that smile, I was caught in the search. Then she sent me a slideshow.
It is Brekky in the Cave. I hope everyone has had a good start to the week. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and we're here to bring you some good vibes and energy to get you over that, the hump. Got loads of stuff on the way, loads of stuff for the channel to announce, so I'm really excited for that. We've got some fantastic guests on the way as well. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Loot and Fire for the first tune of the day. We'll let everyone know what's going on in just a second. Throw a like on the video, get some extra subscriptions popping as well. Leave a comment, let us know how you're feeling in the chat section also, and let's have a good time.
She was just a Twitter friend, another Facebook guest. She tell me say she different from the rest. Yes, she acting shy, but yet seem rude. If you know what she like, you kick her in the mood. She not really my type, but I cruise me a cruise. And I guess I just like she send photograph nude. Enough time I feel bored, and I know she make my day. She shift the skirt and send me a snapshot straight from workplace. She's out of control, John want me at rise. Oh yes, it was surprising for me fan page. She was just a Twitter friend, another Facebook guest. She tell me say she different from the rest. Sending a lot of pictures on dress, tights and knickers and breasts. And that make me lose interest. She captioned the pic and put a star on the edge, and then she sent me a IGDM. She was just a Twitter friend, another Facebook guest. She tell me say she different from the rest. She took a few pictures of the Telegram flow. I observe on her pages, checking it out. She got that detail, that smile, I was caught in the search. Then she sent me a slideshow in a short mini skirt. That can't done, when I leave it up, when I scan you, but it won't work. Sent it to and I tell me come, invited me if you come church. She call me more time, I tell me come check it out. Ready if you go flirt, and she wanna meet me at the concert. She was just a Twitter friend, another Facebook guest. She tell me say she different from the rest. Sending a lot of pictures on dress, tights and knickers and breasts. And that make me lose interest. She captioned the pic and put a star on the edge, and then she sent me a IGDM. She was just a Twitter friend, another Facebook guest. She tell me say she different from the rest. Yes, she acting shy, but yet seem rude. If you know what she like, you kick her in the mood. She not really my type, but I cruise me a cruise. And I guess I just like she send photograph nude. Enough time I feel bored, and I know she make my day. She shift the skirt and send me a snapshot straight from workplace. She's out of control, John want me at rise. Oh yes, it was surprising for me fan page. She was just a Twitter friend.
Sounds of Loot and Fire on this one with Twitter friend. How are we doing this morning, my friends? It's Brekky in the Cave. I'm in a great mood today. There we go. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and we are moving into a very explosive week here on Cubcam TV. I've got to say, we're shooting up in subscribers. We've gone up, I think we've gone up about 40 in 3 days. So out to everyone out there who is getting involved with the channel, getting involved with videos, liking them, commenting on them. We've got a new thing dropping today, which I'm going to let you know all about in just a second. But for the time being, I want to know how everyone is, so please do let me know. Hit me up on the socials, which you should be able to find on the top right hand corner, as you can see. There we go, you can see it is on Instagram, as well as that on Facebook, as well as, of course, Twitter, and finally SoundCloud. All of those, you can catch me at KXVU. Let us know how you're feeling. If you are locking in via Trickstar Radio, if you're locking in via the show, via the podcast, let us know, because we've got some fantastic stuff on the way. As you can see, in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we do have two very special guests in the building. We're doing Garage and Grime today. We're going to be talking to Yemi, first of all, a very exciting new school UKG producer who's been putting out some absolute bangers left, right, and centre. Really excited to talk to him, obviously, who's involved in the Kiwi Cup as well. I'm slowly but surely picking off everyone who was involved in that tournament and bringing them on the show for interviews, which I'm really, really enjoying doing. As well as that, of course, we are going to be basically breaking down what he's had on recently, like loads of new music, loads loads of new releases, a couple of other bits as well. So yeah, it should be good. It should be good to do. I'm looking forward to the conversation more than anything else. As well as that, we are going to be joined by man like Lumes. Really excited for this one. He's someone who's actually asked to come on the show quite publicly. So I'm looking forward to getting into the conversation with him. We're going to be talking through his recent releases, his Twitter, kind of the way he works on Twitter in regards to kind of promoting his new releases. Someone I know who is very not of the old school method, but from what I understand, it is someone who is still very much making beats for MCs and kind of working very much in that kind of realm, which we should be good to do. It should be good to discuss it more than anything else. So there we go. Out to everyone, as I said before, who is supporting the channel, throw a subscription on the page. It'd be good to get you guys involved. We are on the road to 1,000. We're aiming to hit 700 by the end of this week, and I know it's Wednesday. We've got 5 days. Is it 5 days left? Yeah, 5 days left to go up another 40. So we're on, I think we started today on 662, I think we started on. So if we can carry on that and then carry on growing and hit that amount by the end of the week, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. So big up you guys for making that a possibility. Let's run through a couple of shouts. Of course, if you are looking in via the YouTube channel, you can of course check out the podcast of this show, which does go up live about an hour after it finishes on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course SoundCloud as well. We cut all the music out and it's pretty much just a bit of long form conversation. It works really, really nicely. Good listening in the morning. As well as that, of course, a massive shout out to our sponsors, Sharpen Digital. If you don't know about them, they help out this show a fair bit in regards to SEO. So if you have a project you want help with, they are the alternative to hiring social media managers. Officially the sponsor of Brekky In The Cave, and we have a new slide we're going to get into. Here we go. You can see this is what is popping this evening on Cubcam TV. We've got a new series starting called Does It Still Bang? Now, this series is going to be a little bit kind of documentary-ish. Well, it's still me just sat in my chair talking to people, which is seemingly all I do these days. But we are going to be basically looking through a number of classic different periods in UK music. We're going to look through kind of compilations, through mixtapes, and listen through random songs involved and see if they still bang. We're going to start off with a few episodes based in the same place, and that is, of course, as you can see, Channel U, a very important place to for grime music and underground UK music growing up. It was a place where it was the first place we really saw the people we were listening to on telly. So we're going to be looking through a selection of classic Channel U bangers later on and working out whether they still bang or not. That video will be dropping at 6 o'clock, so if you want to get involved, please do subscribe and we shall see you there in perfect timing. And of course, there's loads of other stuff we're going to be adding to this bit as well. We've got loads of new bits of artwork. I've been working furiously over the past couple of days to get all these bits sorted. There we go. Hit subscribe. It'll be good. In regards to music today, we've got some bangers on the way. I just realised I haven't formatted some of these tracks properly for my software, so I'm going to have to go through and do that quickly in a second. But there we go. We've got loads of bangers on the way. So let's switch things up, shall we, and go for some nice UKG flavours. This one coming to us from Double S and Sticky with Champion on the co-production. In fact, it's really, really cool to see him working with majors in general, because it's just good to see people that obviously that are involved in your scene kind of elevate to that next level. And I think he is the official. He is the unofficial. Well, he's the official, but he's not on the tune. But he co-produced this one basically. So really exciting stuff. Out to everyone getting involved in the show this morning as well. I have got a couple of things I wanted to shout out before we do get into this one. I've just remembered. Out to all the new subscribers. I've literally only just worked out how to check new subscribers on a page. So I have got a list of the new ones that have joined over the last couple of days. Out to Callum Wykes, out to Imogen Lawyer, out to Alex DeLacy, out to Gabetto Dunbar, out to Nate Teta, out to Benny Hutch, out to Liam Garside, Derby Official, and Stephen Kenyon. Thank you to everyone involved with in subscribing to the channel. It makes a huge difference, so big up you guys each and every time. Let's crack on then. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. It's Brekky In The Cave. We're live on Cubcam TV and, of course, Trickstar Radio as well.
No ifs, buts, maybes, I'm in this daily. You're my day one.
Yeah, she been fooling. I can tell by the way that she been calling. And all the exes, they been boring. So knock, I'm the one she adoring. Look, she just want reassuring. While I'm on the road getting cash money all in. It's a different ring when the money cooling. And if you double the hustle, it's bringing back more in. I'm trying to live more life. Grind through the day and wave all night. She be looking with the hazel eyes. I got notes and she my lover, the Mabel type. Her friends ask what she see in me. She just give him air like the B&B. I run this double S, I'm DMC. The type of brother that will pull up in the AMG.
Yeah, I'm so bad, yeah. It's too bad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone. It's too bad, yeah. You gon' be mad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm no ifs, buts, maybes. I'm in this daily. You're my day one. You're my only.
that really been A1. I treat my gal like my clothes, cause I only get the runaway ones. So please don't compare me to them, man. Name ain't Ginger, but call me the bread man. If my gal on the vibe, then we're taking a flight. How high I tell her method and red man. Feeling my energy, she already read man. My sort of vibe's nothing like the next man. It's big double, big D, a big deal. But she already knew when she met man. More time double, I be doing the most. I'm like KA anytime I'm raising the toast. Come from city to city, from town to town, from lamppost to lamppost, we run the road.
Yeah, I'm so bad, bad, yeah. It's too bad, bad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone. It's too bad, bad, yeah. You gon' be mad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm no ifs, buts, maybes. I'm in this daily. You're my day one. You're my only. You done show me. You're my day one. 365 days a year. No matter far or near. Don't know you're already here. You're my day one. 365 days a year. No matter far or near. Don't know you're already here. You're my day one. Yeah. I'm so bad, bad. It's too bad, bad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone. It's too bad, bad. You gon' be mad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm too bad, bad. It's too bad, bad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone. It's too bad, bad. You gon' be mad. You gon' miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm no ifs, buts, maybes. I'm in this daily. You're my day one. You're my only. You done show me. You're my day one.
There we go. We're live inside the building. It's Brekky in the Cave, out to the locked-in crew each and every time. Joining us this morning. What a fantastic show we've got on the way. I'm absolutely buzzing to get into the conversations. But for the time being, what we are going to be doing is cracking on with a bit of news. We're looking around a couple of recent announcements, which are looking very exciting indeed. We're looking through this. AJ Tracey, Young Thug, Future, and more have been announced for the 2021 Woo-Ha Festival. So this is looking very exciting indeed. With many of us basically having our summer 2020 plans completely cancelled. Everyone's inside. No one's really done much this summer. That's just the way it is. People are now really kind of looking forward to next year's summer as much as anything else. Woo-Ha Festival has given us a reason to look forward to that summer by announcing the lineup for the 2021 event. Now, this is an event that's due to take place between the 9th and to the 11th of July 2021 at Beeks Bergen in Hilverenbeek. I don't know where it is. I don't know where that is in the world. If someone in the chat wants to let me know where Hilverenbeek is in the world, that'd be fantastic. But the festival will see performances from the likes of AJ Tracey, Future, Young Thug, Tiffany Calver, Murder Beats, and more. It's going to be a very exciting one by the looks of things. In the coming months, 60 plus more acts will be announced to the event, and given the popularity of past Woo-Ha festivals, we can expect the 2021 edition to be just as big. So there we go. I'm going to run through all of the names that have currently been announced. You've got ADF Samsky, you've got AJ Tracey, Shiv, City Morgue, Frenna, Ian Dior, Jack Harlow, Ligepe, I don't know how you pronounce that one, might be Lupe to be honest with you, Murder Beats, Pierre Bourne, Class and Blacker. You've got Ramon, S10, Slow Tie, Tiffany Calver, Young Lean, Zwanger Guy, and many more to be announced, with Future and Young Thug looking like the headliners. So there we go. Interesting stuff. It'll be very interesting to see just how explosive this event becomes, purely because it's looking like it's going to be one of the first ones that is announced. This might be one of the ones where we start seeing people literally jump in and go, right, I'm buying tickets for this one. It's the first one I've seen. It's the only one I know that's definitely happening, so I'm going to buy tickets for it. I think they've been quite clever here in getting the announcement in for next year very, very early, because people are just fiending for a festival, man. People really want to have that live music atmosphere. They want to have that mass gathering feeling. So if they can lock it in, I feel people may actually gravitate towards this one, purely because it's the first one that's kind of been announced. So there we go. Interesting stuff. I mean, we've seen pretty much that every UK festival this year has pretty much been placed on hold realistically, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think realistically festivals are going to be a super spreader in regards to locations that we will hear, that we'll find afterwards, obviously, in regards to COVID-19 and in regards to what that means for the rest of the country. So interesting, very interesting indeed. To be honest, I haven't been to a festival for a while. A few of you may have seen my tweet yesterday. I've said that I'm not actually planning on going to a festival again until I get booked for one. Same way I didn't really plan on going on holiday until I got booked abroad. Like, these are two things that it's quite a good way of motivating yourself, I find, because there's festivals I really want to go to, but I've put that limit on myself where it's kind of going, right, I can't do that until I've achieved that, and I think it's quite a good way of working. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully I'm tempted by this Malta festival, you know. I've seen the lineup, and the lineup's just stupid. The lineup is literally like 1,000 people over the course of like a day and a half. I'm tempted by it, but I don't know if I can really, if it's responsible of me to go out and risk it, to be honest with you. But there we go. Let's jump into another banger then on the way. This one coming to us from Razor, going by the name of Lemsip. Really cool tune, this one. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. It's Brekky In The Cave. Oh, yes.
I made a drink out of packet, that's Lemsip. The talk that you're talking, I don't recommend it. Fuck knows who started the war, but I'll end it. I don't need a chip, I keep it authentic. Hungry and my taste is getting expensive. Trying to put both hands on plate like a dentist. You see when I said what I said, man, I meant it. I don't do pretend shit, I keep it authentic. My see a man run the Olympics. Hopped out something that's tinted. Caught for the mic man, hype man, a witness. Back and I'm moving ridiculous. Back and I'm moving outrageous. Done had crack for the road, but now I got sauce for the playlist. 8 make a crowd go ape shit. Track, put a hand on a mic, I'll break it. Got a show with your name on. You ain't had an enemy like me before, and trust me, you don't wanna make one. If you've got a pill that I help you to chill, then blood, I suggest that you take one. Got stabbed in my back on a snake one. Now I'm nice for what? No Drake song. No new friends unless so fake ones. I made a drink out of packet, that's Lemsip. The talk that you're talking, I don't recommend it. Fuck knows who started the war, but I'll end it. I don't do pretend shit, I keep it authentic. Hungry and my taste is getting expensive. Trying to put both hands on plate like a dentist. You see when I said what I said, man, I meant it. I don't do pretend shit, I keep it authentic. Don't get him mistaken, he's not road, he was to the side at best. In fact, you could say he was pavement. He's not bro, but he was trying to slide on sex. Begging relation, they watch what I do, I don't blame them. Imitation ain't gonna save them. It's a post-grad flow when you lack education. Niggas wanna act like I hate them, I don't even rate them, I don't even see them about. In fact, if you do, then give me a shout. If I can't call my mom my house if I clout, then why would I change for you? If my lift still stinks of piss, then bruv, what the fuck is a watch of a chain gonna do? If I see you as prey, can I pray for you? I made a drink out of packet, that's Lemsip. The talk that you're talking, I don't recommend it. Fuck knows who started the war, but I'll end it.
Sounds of Razor on this one with Lemsip, produced by Hamdi.
Hungry and my taste is getting expensive. Trying to put both hands on plate like a dentist. You see when I said what I said, man, I meant it. I don't do pretend shit, I keep it authentic. I made a drink out of packet, that's Lemsip. See what you're talking, I don't recommend it. Fuck knows he started the beef, but I'll end it. I don't do pretend shit.
Can't beat a cuppa, can you?
Authentic. Hungry and my taste is getting expensive. Trying to put both hands on plate like a dentist. You see when I said what I said, man, I meant it. Cause I don't do pretend shit, I keep it authentic. Trust me.
There we go. Sounds of the Razor on that one, produced by Hamdi. Really cool tune. That one, I believe, is out now. If you head over to his Bandcamp, I think he dropped it for the most recent edition of Bandcamp Day, so that's available to go and check. Really, really cool tune. Out to Razor each and every time. One of the hardest working MCs that I know and have the pleasure of working with on a regular basis. So let's crack on then with another bit of news. We're talking about Idris Elba this morning. Very interesting. I was watching Luther yesterday. How many people have watched Luther about 100 times over and still get still get very into it. I don't know what it is about that program, bro, but it gets me every time. I don't know whether it's the pacing, whether it's like the tone in which it works, whether it's Idris playing Luther that does it, just the pure level of weirdness that actually takes place within it a lot of the time in regards to the characters and the villains and stuff like that. Just in general, it's a very, very mad program. If you've never watched Luther, sort it out, basically. That's what I'm saying, because it's fantastic. Looking at this moving very forward, what's going on with me today? The multi-talented Idris Elba and his production company, Green Door Pictures, have signed a mega deal with Apple. Under the contract, Elba and Green Door will produce a range of global series and features for Apple's streaming platform, Apple TV. Since being founded by Elba in 2013, Green Door Pictures has played a role in the production of The Long Run and the Idris Takeover, as well as Idris's own comedy series on Netflix, Turn Up Charlie, and more. Green Door Pictures is devoted to championing diversity of thought, and whilst also working with emerging and established talent to produce content that is innovative, entertaining, and thought-provoking, as the company website reads. Now the company has struck a mega deal with Apple. We can expect more engaging content on Apple TV in the future. Now, obviously, interesting one here, because Idris is involved in so many different programs and so many different themes. I mean, he was MCU till that stopped. He was Luther. I think Luther is finished now. I can't see how they're going to get out of the current scenario with Alice Morgan's obviously scenario in the final episode of the most recent series. If you haven't seen it, sort it out. I'm not going to give you a spoiler, but there's clearly going to be a scenario between the two main characters, or there always is. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, why haven't you seen it? If you haven't seen it, that's something that I'm trying to work out. But yeah, looking at it in a bit more detail. In regards to Idris specifically, he is someone that is involved in so many different areas and aspects. He's going to be someone that brings a lot to the table in regards to signing his production company. It's not just a case of having access to what they do. It's more a case of, more than anything else, it's going to be a case of seeing just how much he can fit in, I feel, in regards to, obviously, he works so much in music, he works in film, he works in TV. Like, he's a pretty well-rounded figure, man. Like, to be honest with you, I honestly think there's two of my biggest inspirations in life are Idris Elba and KSI, because as people, they will literally run at something they like and go, I'm interested in this, I'm going to make a bit of a career out of it. And they keep doing it time and time again with different fields and different aspects of their lives. I love it. It's something I can always look at and go, that inspires me more than anything else. So there we go. Wicked stuff. Let's crack on then with what else we've got to do this morning. Interesting stuff with Idris, though. Very interesting indeed. Again, out to all the new subscribers, we are trying to grow this channel as not as quickly as possible, but as successfully as possible. The aim is to hit 1,000 within the next 50 days. So if we're going up 40 every 3 days, that won't take too long. That should probably it'll take about 40 days. So there we go. If we can keep this pace up, it'd be fantastic. And I can't wait till we hit 1,000, because then we can start monetizing content. We can start doing some really interesting sort of outside documentary stuff as well. Start really racking up some additional views on the channel, and start getting a bit of funding in. So then we can grow and grow and grow and grow. The more funding there is, the more we can do, essentially. So yeah, out to everyone locking in this morning for breakfast, getting involved with the show. You know how we do. Let's crack on with a bit of a banger then. This one coming to us brand new from Manga Saint Hilaire, featuring Footsie, going by the name of Dumping Again. I picked this one up in the inbox the other day. So let's crack on. Out to the locked in crew each and every time.
Try dragging me into some nonsense. My brother, my point blank refuse. No, thank you. That vibe is trampy, them type of energy there I rebuke. Move up. I set the steps, they can never control the way I move. Out here looking for attention. Okay, that's cool, that's cute. My things patterned up different. Trust me, I meant what I said. Don't let the little comments and likes them gas you up and get to get head. These man ain't wicked in real life upon the rhythm and they start to pretend. I'm glad I'm not like none of them. That's why I'm back and dumping again. And when I said I'm on the outside, I'm out there, but it's not what I meant. I'm the one who's really outside, got reloads at 100 events.
To the locked in crew each and every, let us know how you're feeling in the chat on the right hand side. Throw a like on the video as well. Go on, do us a favour.
So I take no offence. They wasn't giving out cosigns, but it's okay, cause I still got bread. Me not sell out my friend them, but try know I sell out events. Funny, I'm the one that slept on, but long time I ain't seen my bed. I'm so booked and busy, I feel like I'm wasting money on rent. Big flex, I write like I ain't right in my head. Mad flow, impeccable text, so I never penny them, that's money well spent. Bare times they left man for dead, now I'm cleaning up like I made a mess. I forgive, but I don't forget, so me kidding and now, bro, that's my revenge. Man, I'm chatting about grime, but they don't say me, make it make sense. These guys top 10s are guys I'm all for, Jesus wept.
They wanna see us all beefing, but they wanna be in the receiving end. These silly little nicks, them are the type of brothers that you keep in check. My things patterned up different. Trust me, I meant what I said. Don't let the little comments and likes them gas you up and get to your head. These guys ain't bigger than the real life, man. Go with them and they start to pretend. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not like none of them. That's why I'm back and dumping again.
Dumping again. Give me the mic, you know we get speakers. I'll get the crowd dumping again. You would have thought the gyms were open. The way a man's pumping. I said the way a man's pumping again. I don't care if the DJ rules it. I'm just gonna start dumping again. Man, I'm straight up dumpers. Too many bars, millions, hundreds. I can make it rain silly and thunder.
Exclusive business here on Brekky In The Cave.
Man's filled with so much
Manga Saint Hilaire featuring Footsie. This one dumping again. What a banger this is. What a way to wake us up.
Something like young Ned Umber. Man, I'm on a strike, and nine's my number. I was asleep, then I woke up from my slumber. Said with a laugh with a bumper. Look what's going on, that's my seat at the table. No one's grabbing my chair. Top of the pops this time. Nobody ain't gonna stop this shine. Man, I got the whole team locked, it's mine. Touch it, you're gonna get blocked. I said touch it, you're gonna get blocked, it's fine. All you keyboard warriors are bullshit couriers. Talkie streets, you ain't gonna worry us. Don't know.
My things patterned up different. Trust me, I meant what I said. Don't let the little comments and likes them gas you up and get to your head. These guys ain't wicked in real life up on the rhythm and they start to pretend. I'm glad I'm not like none of them. That's why I'm back and dumping again.
Wicked tune, that one, out to Manga Saint Hilaire each and every time. Wicked tune, good stuff. Very enjoyable stuff, yeah. I love that one. Really cool tune. Let's crack on then. So, in about 3 minutes or so, we are going to be jumping onto the phone with man like Yemi. I know that's what most people are here for so far this morning. I'm really looking forward to getting into this conversation. Should be a good one. Should be good fun indeed. Really looking forward, more than anything else, actually, to get into kind of his roots of garage and understand like where his sound comes from and break all those things down. As you know, we always do here on Brekky In The Cave. We love to break down roots and influences as much as anything else. So, before that, we are going to get into another banger. I did just want to say out to everyone locking in this morning, of course, throw a like on the video and let us know how you're feeling in the chat on the right-hand side. The reason I ask to do this is because as soon as people start talking on the right-hand side of the screen, it naturally increases the reach of the video. So if you see it popping up on you're more likely to see it popping up on social media feeds. You're more likely to see it popping up on your YouTube feed in general. So that's why I ask. If you throw a like on the video and say hi in the chat on the right-hand side, we can get more people in here, have a very enjoyable morning, and crack on as we do. You know, it's a fun way of starting the morning off, I find, having these conversations and these interviews with some really, really special producers and artists in general. It's great fun. Great fun indeed. Let's crack on then with this one coming to us from the sounds of Lion D, Million Stars and Danger. This one going by the name of Stay Woke. We're going to get into this one for the time being whilst I get the phone call set up with Yemi. Really excited for this one. Give the stream a share, throw a like on the video, of course, hit subscribe if you are new to the channel, and yeah, we'll see you in just a second. Aha.
Yeah, man, I'm saying come the thing called Stay Up, Stay Woke.
Make the whole of them a wonder. Down in a Babylon, there's no chill zone. I fi calm down my nerves every time me with gun. Who no think say you're safe through you walk with gun? But now we living in the age where them kill man with drone. Lord, nobody tell me about no 5G phone. Cause the youths them lost already, them a IG clone. Lord, just like a slavery time, them time we done. Me talk the thing and them no one hear none. Oh Lord, one bag of people I take life a joke. It's like they not no brain in all them cranium. Watch every step when you walk down the road. Only for you to straight in the Gideon. Stay up, stay woke. Never let them hold you down. Praise him who saved your soul. Never let them take your crown. I know everything you see glitter is gold. Everybody want money in a billfold. So many terrible lies we've been told. This game them a play, it's getting kinda old. Iniquity shall abound, the love of many wax cold. Wicked or righteous, better pick your role. Step with the lion, you say brave and bold. You said your money, but you have to sell your soul. One bag of people I take life a joke. It's like they not no brain in all them cranium. Watch every step when you walk
For there's a time every bird.
There we go, my friends. We're back inside the building. This is Brekky in the Cave. Thank you to everyone who is getting involved with the show this morning. Our first guest of the day is here. A man like Yemi joins us on the line. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
That's what I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. Are you perchance watching the stream in the background?
Sorry, that's my fault. Getting double audio. Right, there we go.
There we go. That's all good, though, man. It's all good. Thank you for getting involved with the show. It's going to be a good one. We've got loads of stuff to discuss. Obviously, you're someone who is very active in UKG right about now, especially in the UK. Obviously, it comes with the title of UKG. So what we're going to be looking at more so is kind of like your roots, your influences to begin with. So let's kind of go back to the beginning with yourself. What was the thing that first kind of drew you towards producing in general?
Towards producing in general, I'd say probably just DJing. So I started DJing sort of end of college, start of university. I was actually in the same halls as Sammy Virgie. So
okay.
we used to sort of be a bit of a back-to-back duo. We'd play sort of student nights, and then it sort of went from there. Started getting bookings, and sort of went towards more of a sound. So sort of mainly started playing UK garage, and it was actually through Sammy that I got into production. And then from there, just sort of plugging away, just sort of discovering my sound and the type of music I wanted to make, and it's just sort of gone from there. I mean, I'd say I definitely feel like I'm still learning a lot. So
wicked, man. I mean, it's cool to hear that that's the kind of route in for you. So it was very much almost, as much as anything, it was kind of like the environment you were in and the people you were around that kind of gave you a bit of an initial push to kind of get involved more than anything else, it seems. Yeah,
for sure. Like, I think we were quite lucky. Like, a lot of us that used to live together were all very musical. We used to just mess around on the decks sort of hours on end, day after day, messing around. I don't know if you've heard of Cunning MC as well. So it's the three of us that were sort of mainly involved together. So it would sort of be me and Sammy mixing tunes, and Will would be spitting bars in the background. So it was definitely a very good environment to sort of get a foot in the door with production and DJing, and just sort of finding my musical taste in general.
Awesome, man. I mean, that's sick to hear, and I think as well with yourself. Obviously, I see you as one of the kind of the new school in regards to garage. Very much part of this way, this kind of new wave, which are really taking the sound to the next level, really kind of putting their own spin on it, and essentially to an extent making garage very relevant to like the average dance music listener again, which is really, really fun. Like, when did you on a sort of like timeline sort of scale? When did you kind of start taking this sound quite seriously in regards to this is what I want to do?
I'd say probably after a couple of years of DJing, maybe just before I started producing, I sort of got to a point with it where I felt that I was getting confident in my ability and just sort of loving it as well. It was definitely something that I really, really enjoyed, regardless of whether I got somewhere with it or not. So I think just having the passion for the music, I think, was something that sort of made me say, right, this is something I'm definitely going to be doing for a very long time. Yeah,
awesome, man. I mean, it's sick to hear. And I think with yourself, obviously, like influence-wise, who were you kind of listening to in those earlier periods then? Obviously, outside of the circles you were working in, who were the kind of names that were kind of really hitting home for you?
Initially, right at the start, I think the first garage tune I ever heard was I think it was a Todd Edwards tune. I think it was Save My Life, Todd Edwards, which was just sort of blew my mind. I remember listening to some of his tunes on the way to school and college, and it just sort of, cemented garage in my mind from that point onwards. Jodan was also a very early influence for me. And then from a production point of view, obviously Sammy, having lived with him and sort of learning a lot through him initially. I'd say those three are probably my biggest influences, I reckon.
Awesome, man. I mean, we've had Sammy on the show quite recently, actually. Like, how was that as an experience, obviously living with... I mean, do you still keep in contact?
Yeah, we're still close. I'd say he's probably my best mate.
That's sick. That's sick to know. So with that then, do you ever find yourselves appearing at the same shows, and then does it kind of like take you back to those like earlier kind of uni days?
Not yet, but we actually we've both been booked for a festival in Malta.
Oh, you're both sick, yeah.
Next month. So yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be good fun because we haven't really been booked on the same show in a while. So yeah, that'll be good fun.
Yeah, that will be good fun, man. I can imagine that, especially as it's obviously off out in a different country, and it's going to be a thing that, well, by the looks of things, that's going to be the first kind of big event that actually takes place festival wise this year. By the looks of things. Yeah.
So I'm buzzing to be involved. I was very gassed indeed when I got the email through a couple of weeks ago. This is my first international booking as well, which is exciting. So, yeah, big one there. I'm definitely gonna have to pull something out of the bag for that.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think with a show like that as well, where it really is essentially it's a representation of UK music on abroad, essentially, by the looks of the entire layout of the festival. I mean, it looks like there's about 1,000 names on it. It should be a bit of a madness. Like with something like that, obviously, like a bigger scale booking like that. Do you feel you're going to kind of switch up your approach in regards to the tunes you play, or do you think you're going to kind of approach it the same way you'd approach any show?
I'd probably switch it up a little bit. I think with a lot of my shows, when I play clubs especially, I try and just go with the flow. Usually I pick like a couple tunes I might want to start with and then kind of go from there, just read the crowd reaction and how I'm feeling at the time to go with, to see where the set takes me. But I think with something, a festival, I think I'll put a bit more thought into it. I'll probably have a few things that I'm going to definitely pull out of the bag and see how they go down. So yeah, I'm excited to maybe put a bit more planning into this one and come up with something
awesome, man.
Special.
Wicked. Okay, cool. So kind of moving back to the production side of things then for yourself. Obviously you started taking it seriously after a couple of years of being more of like the live performance side of things, taking the main brunt, and then you've kind of gone, okay, cool, I'm going to get into the production side of it next. Like, how long was that process in between kind of starting to make music and then you being happy enough and being in a position where you're now sending it out to labels and starting to release it?
I definitely still feel like I'm learning. Like I think production, music in general, is one of those things where you'll never know everything. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. It makes it exciting because there's loads left to learn, but at the same time, it can make you, well, for me anyway, it can make me a bit nervous at times when I send tunes through to labels or when people approach me for music, because I feel like I'm still very much in the infancy of where I'd like to be with my production anyway. But I think I've recently got to a point where if I make something and I feel like it's good, then I'm starting to be able to sort of trust myself to know that if I like it, then hopefully other people will too. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely still evolving, but as time goes on and there's more tunes come out and I read people's responses to certain things, I think it's definitely easier to become sort of more confident in myself.
Definitely, and I think that's something that's quite easy to kind of look at from the outside as well. Like from obviously my perspective as a reviewer, I can kind of look at the timeline of Yemi tunes and kind of go, yep, and every single one's kind of growing, and it almost feels like the music's become more confident in the compositional side of things. Like, would you say from release to release you can feel a difference?
No, I think. Like some of my early tunes are still some of my favourites, but in terms of stuff like the mix downs and the little intricacies, I'd say there's definitely differences there. But I think I'm a big fan of some of the tunes I made right at the start, which is good because I think it shows that maybe I'm growing in certain areas, but I think it makes me feel like I'd always had a bit of a spark.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I mean, at the end of the day, you want kind of that early stuff as a producer to give you a bit of a nostalgic feeling to begin with anyway, like being able to look back over your earlier catalogue and kind of going, I still like that one, it's quite a good sign because it means it's likely that that's going to be something that carries on throughout your the worst thing to have is have a back catalogue of tunes that you never want to play again. That's the worst thing, which doesn't seem like that's the case for yourself. So we're kind of moving forward then. Let's get into the first tune of today's listings. This one goes by the name of Daydream. So talk to me about this tune and how did it come together?
So there's actually been a slight alteration with this one. This one's now actually called On My Mind.
Okay, cool.
It samples that Beyonce and Joel Paul tune. What's it actually called? I can't remember what the original's called.
It's probably a good thing that you don't say what the original tune is, to be fair.
yeah. Let's just say it's yeah. So there's a sample in there which sort of inspired the name of the tune. But yeah, I think it's probably the favourite tune that I've made, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
It's coming out next month with Wub Club. Yeah, big shout out to Forza for getting me involved.
Awesome, man.
Them.
Awesome.
But yeah, I've been sort of sat on this tune for a while. I'm not really sure what to do with it. So yeah, I'm excited to get this one out and see the reaction it gets.
Wicked, man. Well, we're going to get into it now. This one goes by the name of On My Mind. Yemi is on the line. Keep it locked. It's Brekky In The Cave. We're live on Cubcam TV and, of course, Trickstar Radio as well, so don't go anywhere.
Baby boy, stay on my mind. Baby boy, stay on my mind. Baby boy, stay on my mind.
Quality.
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 Then, friends, we're back inside the building. That one On My Mind by Yemi. How are we doing this morning, my friends? It's Brekky In The Cave. New listeners, please do make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. And, of course, throw a like on the video as well. Let's get some stuff popping in here today. So, man like Yemi joins us. Let's move forward to 2019 then, to begin with, kind of looking through the music you've been releasing. So how have things been actually, like, in regards to, like, releasing music? What's come out where?
Good question. So I released an EP on Slime Recordings at the end of last year. That was featuring 3 tracks. They were sort of like a summery, feel-good vibe, which I really liked that EP. And it got a really good response from a load of people who I looked up to, which was cool. I also put out a couple of tunes for free download. I did a remix of the George Smith tune, Blue Lights, which also did really well. I was really pleased with that one as well. And just a couple other bits sort of around and about. A release with B-Swang, an edit of Mascanada.
Nice.
There was a few bits and bobs towards the end of 2019 and start of 2020. it was a good year, definitely.
Wicked, man. I mean, this is the thing. Obviously, as I said before, I kind of look at the scene from an almost like an outside perspective. I feel like I'm looking from the outside through a plane window. That's kind of like how I feel. I look at a lot of what's going on, especially in UK garage, with that being the real kind of buzz genre in the UK. I feel over the past sort of 18 months, and it's been really interesting to see. Like, how do you feel about garage as a whole at the moment? Because it does seem to be that like every week there's like 4 or 5 crazy new releases. There's a new artist that pops every week. Like, how have you found that all to be?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's really exciting. I think it's great to see that it's getting so much attention, and I think because of the attention it's drawing more people to it, whether that be DJs or producers or listeners. So yeah, it's wicked that it's gaining so much traction. Coming back to what you said about new producers, that's what excites me the most, I think, because there's so many sick people coming through that I get inspiration from. For sure.
Awesome, man. I mean, obviously with yourself then, like, who are the people that you're kind of looking at in regards to new producers now that you're kind of going, oh, I'm interested in what they're doing? Like, who are the ones that kind of stick out for you, especially over the last kind of year or so?
For new producers, I'd probably say I'm really into Prozac. Prozac's got some wicked tunes. His tunes really bouncy and quite melodic, which I sort of admire, because that's the sort of thing I go for in my tunes. Fat Control is another one as well. His tunes are just mad. I don't know. They just get me. They just get me. Less of a new producer, but Hamdi as well. Hamdi is, well, yeah, I'm sure you've probably heard of Hamdi.
Yeah, I used to play back to back with him. It seemed like every week, actually. Yeah. Hamdi's a bit of a monster, I feel.
He is, man. That new EP he just released.
Cuba.
Cuba and Vinales, 2 of the tunes on there. I've been literally rinsing like every day.
Sick.
Mate, the horns in those, they just kill me.
Awesome, man. Well, I know he's a keen listener to the show, so he'll probably pop up at some point and go, oh, cheers, guys. It's nice for you to talk about nice things about my tunes. He's just a lovely guy. I've got a lot of time to handle.
He is.
So, yeah, I mean, with yourself then, kind of looking from that more towards, there he is, he's just popped up in the chat, more towards kind of 2020 then, like in regards to kind of producing and putting stuff out there, it seems like, well, I mean, there's been one big EP from yourself, which has dropped this year, which we can kind of get into. But as well as that, you were involved in the Kiwi Cup.
Yes, yeah, that was cool. That was I don't know, was that basically the start of lockdown, wasn't it? So we all got sent stems for a series of tunes that had been released on Kiwi Records, and it was really cool actually to get the chance to release to remix those, especially the first one I did, the Prescribed Vibe Call Today remix. Like, that was my favourite tune anyway for a really long time. So to get the stems and sort of understand how the track had been put together was like, yeah, a dream come true really. And I was pretty happy with what I was able to come up with. So yeah, that was exciting. And yeah, Kiwi Records have just been the sort of bit of a driving force, I feel, for UKG over the last year or so. So yeah, it was sick to get involved with them as well.
Definitely, man. I fully agree with you on that one. And it's quite interesting to see that almost like through this kind of carving, I feel that they've been able to do into, I want to say to an extent, even the more industrial side of UK music in regards to getting involved in the magazines, in the press, in the live streams, all these kind of things. The amount of labels that have almost been able to kind of jump in and get involved in that slipstream has been really, really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I think they, like Conductor and everyone who's involved, they really do try and sort of push new artists, and yeah, I think they go above and beyond to give everyone a chance to show what they've got, especially with the Kiwi Cup. You saw a couple of new producers coming through in that, which was really exciting. I think that's why they're, other than the music being really good, I think that's my favourite thing about them, is Definitely. That they give everyone a chance to show their stuff, which is really cool.
Definitely, man. It's really, really cool to see. Out to Juma in the chat saying the Brazil and Cuba EPs are incredible. Hamdi saying, cheers, Duns. Oh, no worries, sir. No worries. We'll praise you we'll praise you all day, sir. No worries at all. Out to everyone locking in right about now. If you are locked in, please do throw a like on the video. And if it's your first time locking in, hit subscribe on the channel as well, because there's loads of good stuff coming. We're going to get into another tune next from yourself, Yemi, sir. This one, I believe, unless it's had a name change, goes by the name of Take Control. So talk to me about this one.
Yeah, no, this one, the name's remaining the same. This one, this one's like I don't know how to describe it. It's quite very melodic, and I like a lot of things about this tune, and it's actually, well, it should be coming out reasonably soon for something I'm pretty excited about. I don't know how much I can say about it, but yeah, watch out for this one.
Okay, cool. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for it. Keep it locked, my friends. We're live on Clubcam TV, Brekky In The Cave on YouTube, and of course Trickstar Radio as well. To man like WT4 White in the chat, it's good to see you, sir. It's always good to see you here in the mornings. How are you doing? friends, we're back inside the building. How are we doing? It's Brekky in the Cave. It's fantastic having you all here this morning for this fantastic conversation with a man like Yemi. Really looking forward to getting to this final section. So, we've kind of discussed a couple of big things that happened last year. Obviously, spoke about the Kiwi Cup. We spoke about a couple of other bits. Let's talk about the 440 EP, because that, for me, was one of the standout releases of the year, especially within Garage. How long was that in the works?
Let me think. Well, basically the two tunes that I'd done, so Easy Living and wow, that's bad. I can't remember the other tune that's on there. Easy Living and Skippy, yeah. They were sort of, I think I made those towards the end of 2019. Again, been sat on them for a while. Wasn't really too sure what to do with them, and then I got chatting to Tough Culture, and we did the collab Don't Tell Me, and It's 440 sort of also got in contact with me, and they said they wanted some tunes, so it all kind of worked quite nicely. It all came together at the same time. But yeah, I was really, really pleased with the whole thing, to be honest. I think the collab with Tough Culture was definitely a highlight for me. I think he's probably one of my favourite producers, yeah, by far within the scene. Like, his drums are sick. Like, the sound design, everything's just mad. He's got such a unique style to his tunes, which I find really cool.
Awesome,
so
man.
It was really nice to be able to get something together with him.
Definitely, man. I think going back to what I said earlier, I feel with yourself, it is very much a case of every release kind of hitting home that little bit further, and this one for me really was the one. This is the EP that kind of made me go, okay, right, I need to take some serious notice of what's going on here with this guy, because he's putting out some like bang. I think there was a couple of like one-off bits I'd seen before. Obviously, I'd seen what was going on with Kiwi as well, but as soon as that EP dropped, my attention shifted very much towards like, I need to take notice, basically. So I'm assuming a lot of other people did as well. And it was sick to see, man. I love seeing progression as much as anything else. Before we carry on, out to WT4Y in the chat saying, to be honest, I'm good apart from falling out of my bed because I got jumped by a moth. Fair enough. That's not the most pleasant experience in waking up being attacked by a moth. But yeah, let's kind of look to the future then, Yemi. Like, what's on the way for yourself?
I've actually got a bunch of stuff coming out in the next few weeks. So I've got a tune with Minister dropping on the 17th, so that's on Friday. That's called Go Deep. It's a track we made a few months ago, and there's a remix by MPH. I think there's previews for that on SoundCloud and Beatport now as well. Little plug. After that, the week after that, actually, I've also got a collab coming out with Yosi called Can't Stop. Again, made that a few months ago. I'm really actually very excited for that one. I think it's a bit more bassy. Not quite my usual style, but I think our styles came together really well in that track. So yeah, that's a really good one to look out for. And then obviously On My Mind as well is dropping next month with Wub Club. So
there we go, man. It's sounding busy. It's sounding like a very full plate. Yeah,
it's kind of all come together with for the next few weeks, which is exciting. Yeah, I feel like it's good to have some consistency and keep a bit of the hype going. So I'm excited to see the response these tunes get.
Awesome, man. Sure. Well, obviously with them, please do keep sending stuff over. If there's a mailing list I can jump on, that'll be absolutely lovely. We'd love to support the tunes here on Brekky, and of course across all the platforms as well. So we've just about run out of time, but we've got time to squeeze in one more banger that goes by the name of Freak Show. So talk to me about this one.
Freak Show, yeah. This one's quite cool. So I was actually watching Shrek, and there's one bit where there's like a little fanfare they do before Lord Farquaad arrives in his swamp, and it's just the rudest little like trumpet bit, and I'd sampled that, and this is what I came up with basically.
Oh, I love that. I love that, finding those little snippets from almost like classic programs or television that people would never have expected to find. Like that's pretty much garage down to a T to an extent, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, for sure.
That sampling side of things.
No. Yeah, 100%. So it's Shrek mixed with Missy Elliott, so you can't go wrong really.
Oh, I love it. Right then, dude. It's been really good to chat this morning. Thank you for coming on the show. I've been really looking forward to this one. It's been good to hear you talk on garage and obviously your experiences so far. So obviously we'll stay in contact. One time, what's the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
So Instagram, it's Yemi_UKG. Same on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook as well at Yemi. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me on, man. It's been good to chat.
No worries at all, man. Anytime, and obviously in regards to music, keep it coming, and we look forward to hearing more from yourself.
For sure.
Lovely stuff. Right then, let's get into this one then. Freak Show. We are live on the line. We're going to be jumping onto the call with Lumes in just a second. Massive shouts out to Yemi. I'm going to get on the phone with Lumes in just a second. This one going by the name of Freak Show. Keep it locked. Out to the locked in crew each and every time. Throw a comment in the chat section. Throw a like on the video as well. And if you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Do me a favour. We're on the road to 1,000.
Roll up in my car, don't stop, won't roll up in my roll up in my car, don't stop, won't roll up in my roll up in my roll up in my roll up in my car.
Hello, bro. How you doing? What's good? Right, I need to sort my voice out. What's going on? Can't cough on camera anymore. It literally freaks people out. How are you doing, sir? You all good?
Yeah, I'm very good. Just chilling out.
Good stuff. That's what I like to hear. So, we're going to be in about 30 seconds or so. And yeah, we'll start off quite linear, kind of go through a bit of bit of history on yourself in regards to obviously getting involved with music, getting involved with the production side of things. And kind of like the last sort of year or so, we'll look at recent releases, obviously stuff you've produced for, and different releases you've been involved with, future plans, all that good stuff. And it tends to work quite nicely over the course of 3 sections. There we go.
No worries, mate.
To everyone telling me to mute my microphone, thank you guys. Where would I be without you? Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. Seemingly, my mic was on the entire time. It doesn't matter, though. I haven't been out here insulting people, so it's fine. We're live on the line with a man like Lumes. Keep it locked. How are you doing, my good friend?
I am very good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. I'm in a good mood today, man. It's been an enjoyable show. It's been fun to talk to people. It's just been good in general so far. It's been a good start to the day. How have you been finding the last few weeks then, obviously, with lockdown slowly but surely seemingly lifting?
Not bad, to be fair. I've been sort of like a week on, week off at work, so it's given me a bit of extra time to work on music, to be honest, which has been helpful.
Nice, man. Nice, good. I think the interesting thing with this then, obviously, is this period specifically. How have you found it in general then across lockdown in regards to making music?
Quite easy, to be honest. Quite easy. I mean, I've got kids, so they've been in during the days here and there. But other than that, like, it's been quite nice. Like, I know I've got a day to spend just chilling, making music if I want to do that. Obviously managed to get a few projects done as well, which I've been meaning to do for ages. So, yeah, it's a silver lining, do you know what I mean?
Definitely, man, definitely. I think, obviously, with these interviews, what we like to do is kind of go back to the kind of roots of people's productions, obviously musical influences, all that good stuff there. So let's kind of take things back to the beginning for yourself in regards to your approach with music. Like, when did you first kind of get involved on a production level?
Quite a while ago, probably when I was about 16, I'd say. I mean, I used to play around with, did you ever try EJ?
As in the production software?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
yeah. I started messing around with that when I was younger, and I liked all, like, the way you could do the different loops and stuff like that. And then when you look more into that, you work out you can do the individual instruments. And then I think I started actually on a bootleg copy of Fruity Loops, as we all did.
As everyone did. I almost get worried now when I hear someone say, "Oh yeah, I started with a full version of Logic," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean? That's not how you do it."
Yeah, you're not appreciating the journey if you're starting off with paid software.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I moved on to Reason. I think it was Reason 2 actually. and sort of went back and forth between Fruity and Reason for quite a while, and then now I'm just literally firmly rooted on Reason.
Nice. I mean, how, like, with that process then, would you say there are like elements of other bits of software that you'd like to kind of steal and kind of put into what you're working with now?
Yeah, I mean, with Fruity, I'd definitely say like it gives you that more. Sometimes the sounds have just got that more oomph. Do you know what I mean? They've got a bit more power to a lot of it. Whereas sometimes with Reason, I find like you have to do a little bit to make the sound come out a little. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Fruity's got the rawer sound out of the two, which is obviously for grime music, that's what you want. But with Reason, I don't know, I like the interface a little bit more, to be honest. It's a bit more clean cut.
Nice. Okay, cool. I mean, so like with those earlier days then, in regards to kind of influences and people that were really kind of ticking the boxes for you, like on a sound level, who were the people you were kind of wanting to kind of emulate? Because let's be real, at the beginning, everyone is trying to emulate other people.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll tell you, for me, I started hip hop first, and then like I listened to grime, but I didn't make grime. But when I first started out, I was listening to a lot of like Kanye West sample, or like the old sample sounds and the Diplomats, all those sort of people. And then I heard Overnight Celebrity with Twister, and then I heard Crazy Titch done a version of it. And then from that, I started looking more at like the sampling that was in grime, and there's only one person for me that was like killing it, and that was Low Deep. Like the samples, the energy, all the different styles that he came with. Yeah, so I started really with like Low Deep, Rough Squad as well, were like quite pioneering with the sample stuff. Iron Soul as well, I used to listen to a lot of. So yeah, I was quite heavily sample based. But obviously, you know, I liked the early sort of Wiley stuff, a lot of the early Roll Deep productions as well. But yeah, so there's the guys really. But for me, Low Deep, number one.
Low Deep, number one. I mean, that's an interesting one because obviously in those earlier periods, everyone kind of goes. People tend to say Wiley. People tend to say Skepta and Jammer, especially from that more sort of grime background. So it's quite interesting to hear Low Deep on the in the discussion. Like with that sort of sound, then what would you say? There's any elements of what they do that you've kind of almost folded into your own style?
I think with Low Deep, I found he was really good at making a voice sample turn into an instrument, and I try and do that as much as I can. Like when I sample, I do a lot of sample tunes at the moment, and I try not to do it where you can hear too many actual words. I prefer it where I can get the vocals to a certain point where they just sound like part of the song and part of like the beat and just an instrument on its own. But yeah, I mean, Low Deep, I feel like Low Deep was quite before his time because I think his stuff has got that commercial appeal to it, commercial grime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was very buffed as well. Like it's when you listen to the sort of quality of his tunes for that era, his mix sounds were class. Like
yeah, I feel that.
His mastering was a different level. Like the bass was smooth. There was so much clarity in the highs, whereas at that time, grime was still a very rough cut sound.
Definitely, and when you kind of listen through the a lot of the other sort of people making those tunes at the time, especially as I said, like the Wileys and even like the Louis Whites and people like that of that time who were very much on these kind of harsher sounding tunes. There's definitely a level of differentiation there, and it's an interest. I just find it quite an interesting one that you've brought up, Low Deep specifically. So there we go, interesting stuff. Let's kind of move forward then. So these were the sort of early influences. How long was it of you kind of getting involved with production how long did it take you to kind of go, right, I want to make something of this properly?
Do you know what? I'm still probably at that stage where I should be doing more to make a go of it properly. It's one of those ones, isn't it? Like most musicians will probably say that like during their sort of journey of being a musician, there's been times when they might not have made as much as they would have at another point. You know, there might be a change in circumstances in life that's led to them stopping for a little while. Do you know what I mean? So there was loads of sort of smaller parts like earlier on where I probably could have taken it a bit more seriously, but I didn't really pay attention to a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was too busy running around being an idiot. So yeah, to be honest, now is more when I'm trying to sort of learn more the industry side of it as well, because I think that's an area that we don't sort of go into a lot with grime. Like, we're a very DIY genre, but I think for me, like, we need that little bit of extra help sometimes with the industry side of it, because a lot of us are clueless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're good at promo, we're good at putting our tunes up using, you know, distribution companies and band camps and stuff like that, but we're still very naive to the whole business side of the music, and that's what's like at the moment I'm trying to learn it a little bit, because you've got to have that behind you now, especially with the more accessible music is nowadays. The more you could find a track being used that you don't expect to get used, and you don't know what to do about it. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what contracts are, you don't know what percentages, this, that. So yeah, I'm trying to take it more seriously now, to be honest.
Wicked, man. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing to kind of break down, and I think it's a conversation that could last for hours, literally, as to how grime specifically can be pushed into a more kind of not an industrial approach, but to have that kind of industrial understanding, because you almost think of grime as being like almost purposely, to an extent, not an industrial genre.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, along with every single sort of style of music, there's always been the core where it started from. Do you know what I mean? And like, for example, we'll say hip hop, because that's quite a close similarity to grime, and it's sort of had the same journey. Now with grime, I feel like what we need more of is albums. I don't feel like there's enough, and we're such a capable scene of making albums. Look at the albums that set the pace for where we're at now. Do you know what I mean? Did You Rascal, obviously, Boy in the Corner, you got Wiley's early albums. Like, you can do albums. Roll Deep as well.
Yeah.
They went silver with In at the Deep End, which was crazy at the time, especially for a crew to sort of do. It's because they sort of structured their album differently. They had the different sounds and stuff like that. I think we're at a point now where I'd like to hear less sort of radio bars and just more album tracks with a bit of substance, a bit of storytelling. Do you know what I mean? And I think that could progress us a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I think it's having more than anything else. I think from what I've kind of watched within grime, I think it's the mindset and the openness to kind of doing things with not an industrial ear, but doing things with the mindset of it can be more than just this. You know what I mean? It can be more. It can be you can write an album and it still represent what you are, but have a wider appeal, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's you know, I've always thought like our BPM, 140 BPM, is so sick to make music with, because it's not too fast, it's not too slow. There's energy into it, but you can make the sort of more mellow stuff. There's so much you can do with that BPM, and I don't think we're enhancing it fully just yet.
Definitely, I agree with you, man. Well, it's been an interesting start to the convo. We're going to get into a track from yourself next up. This one goes by the name of Select, I believe. So talk to me about this one.
Yeah, it's off the new EP. Tried to sort of keep in with the vibe of the Gem series. If anyone's heard my Gem series, you'll see that most of the projects sort of tie in with each other. So yeah, it's just sort of a wavy grime.
There we go. Good stuff. Right then, don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV and, of course, Trickstar Radio as well. It's Brekky In The Cave. Lumes is on the line.
Hey, Lumes, run the blood clot with a new boy.
Right then, my friends, we're live inside the building. How are we doing? It's Brekky in the cave. Left the mic down that time, which is good. I'm slowly but surely getting the hang of this radio lark after 2 years. We're on the line with Lumes. We're talking through Grime as a whole. I want to kind of steer the conversation back to yourself then, because obviously you are someone who is very kind of active in regards to promoting your stuff on Twitter and getting people to listen to the tunes you're putting together. When you're building instrumentals, then do you tend to have MCs in mind, or do you tend to very much go for just building something and then kind of going, I think this would work for that person?
Sort of, like, there's a few guys that I work with at the moment. Bobby Strider, I'll share his link on Twitter as well at some point, but a lot of, like, certain tunes I'll make and I'll know that he'll want it, because he's got the choruses. His choruses are just crazy catchy, man. I love them. So yeah, specific ones, like, I've managed to, over the last sort of year or so, build up quite a few sort of people that come to me for beats and exclusives and stuff, and learning, like, sort of what styles people tend to pick up is where I'll go, oh, I've made this one, you might like it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But to be honest, one thing I am trying to learn a bit more of is leaving a bit more room for MCs on tracks, because I know my instrumentals can come across quite intense with loads of different things going on sometimes. So I'm just trying to get a little bit better at leaving more room for actual MCing rather than just a crazy instrumental. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool though, man. I think, I mean, with yourself, like, would you say Twitter's the main platform that you would use? Yeah, to be honest, like, Instagram's good, but I haven't really, like, I don't know why, but my engagements on Twitter are always sort of quite high on the video clips that I post of beats and stuff like that, and a lot of it's due to just people on Twitter sharing it. You know, a lot of people are sharing my stuff at the moment, which is really appreciated, because it's slowly getting noticed by a few of the sort of upper tier names in the music game as well. So, well, I'm trying to crack Insta, but yeah, it's just... It's not really my cup of tea. Yeah, there's different realms, and I feel, I mean, if we're talking social media, I definitely feel that Grime lives and breathes on Twitter more than anywhere else.
100%.
I'd say that. But yeah, obviously with your sort of like production and the approach, then, like, it tends to, because obviously we see you drop sort of EPs every now and then with new releases. Like, how do you try to find that balance between making stuff kind of exclusively for MCs and releasing instrumentals as like packs?
I think what it is, like, so some instrumentals that I'll put like a clip up on my SoundCloud or something like that, and as with most producers, we'll all say, like, we'll make hundreds of beats and only a select few will probably ever go to people and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, when I do like dub packs and things, it's a bit different, because they're just beats that have been sat there for a while that I haven't really got any use for, so may as well chuck them out. But to be honest, like, when I'm doing EPs, like, I'll tell myself, like, right, you've got to do this EP because you've been saying on Twitter for months that you're going to release this EP and you haven't. So I'll try and sort of get back into the flow of making a sort of A to Z project, do you know what I mean, with an EP, and the albums that I've done as well, I try and do the same. So during that time, I probably won't be focusing much on making tunes for MCs and just EP stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, just to reiterate the question though, like, what would you say? What would you kind of lean towards in regards to if you could choose one or the other? Would you prefer to release stuff as EPs, or would you prefer to be making stuff kind of exclusively for MCs?
To be honest, there is no better feeling than when you get a tune back from an MC and they've done something sick with it. There is no better feeling. Like, when you wait a few months and you think, oh, I wonder what they're doing with that tune, and then I'll just get a random DM or a random WhatsApp, oh, bruv, check this out, I've done the tune, boom, and it's sick. You're like, yeah, that's a good feeling. And yeah, like, when you get the odd radio play and stuff and people are spinning your tune that you've done with an MC as well, like, it's a good feeling, I can't lie. So yeah, I'd love to work more, like, with the guys in the scene. Definitely.
Wicked, man. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think as well, with your production style, because obviously Grime is in a place now where you have producers making instrumentals that are designed to remain as instrumentals. You know, you've got a lot of producers now in this position that are making almost like complete tunes that don't need the vocal.
Yeah, I mean, Grime, like I say, like, our BPM, like, is such a way that you can just listen to a beat. and be perfectly fine listening to the beat, because there's so much capability with our genre that you can almost please every sort of preference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
Like you've got the ones that like the sort of conscious lyrics and stuff like that, and the conscious beats, so the deeper instrumentals. There's plenty of them. You've got the guys that love the sort of road bars and the dirty, grimy beats. You've got them. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the producers firing beats out like that. Like Filthy Gears, for example. Like he fires out crud. Do you know what I mean? Crud, crud, crud all day long. Crud. So he's the go-to guy for the crud sound, and it works for him as well. So there are sort of like avenues that you can just stay in grime, but go down 20 different avenues if you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Right, let's move stuff a little bit further forward then. In regards to new music, we've got another one to drop here. This one goes by the name of Miss Me. So talk to me about this tune.
My favourite track off the EP. That's my favourite track. It's one of those ones. It's sort of epic sort of vibes, but it's a mellow sort of vibe as well. But yeah, it's got a little bit of sampling on it as well as you're hearing it. But honestly, it's my favourite track off the EP, man.
Awesome, man. Lovely stuff. Well, we're going to get into this one now. We are live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave. We're joined by Lumes this morning. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked, my friends.
Hey, Lumes, run the blood clot with the new boy.
Right then, my friends, we're inside the building. It's Brekky In The Cave. We're live on Trickstar Radio and, of course, Cubcam TV. Out to all the new listeners, if you are locking in for the first time, please make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, throwing a like on the video, and letting us know how you're feeling in the chat on the right-hand side, of course. Lumes is in the building. That one going by the name of Miss Me. We're coming towards the end of the show, so I want to kind of round up and look to the future with yourself. Out to Danny Drags in the building. I want to kind of look to the future for yourself. Like, what's the future plans for kind of post-COVID, the next few months? What's it looking like?
Post-COVID, to be honest, I'm going to try and be a bit more visual with like meeting people to go to the studio. I'm hoping to sort of pop up at a few radio sets as well, just to try and get a bit more involved in the scene, because I'll hold my hands up. For the last few years, I've been quite sort of step in here and there with the scene, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just tend to keep a lot of my stuff just on my Twitter, making tunes and promoting them, and that's it. So yeah, my target is really just to actually make a few more connections with people, get more involved in like the music making side of it, where with tracks, rather than me just making a beat and sending it to someone, it'd be good to be there and watching sort of how people work in the studio with them, and then, you know, we can put our heads together and make something a bit different. So that's my main target. And also to get an album done, another album, but I want to do some vocals. So I'm thinking of maybe doing like a 2 sort of disc sort of thing, where I do one disc instrumentals and then the other disc is all the vocal versions of the beats as well.
Yeah. That makes sense. It'd be quite cool to kind of do that to an extent, almost like it's like a throwback in an extent. Because I remember when you used to get kind of like the full album, and then you'd have like the B CD or whatever would have like loads of the instrumentals or remix versions of tunes.
Yeah, especially back in the day, you used to be able to go on vinyl and just literally buy an album and then buy the instrumental version as well.
Yeah, I remember, man. It was, I mean, good times. We're not going to get stuck in nostalgia, but there we go. It's exciting to hear the plans though. Like, who are some MCs that you'd love to get involved?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't really think, but I'm a lover of choruses. So, like, if you could show me, like, if I can see that you can write choruses, then that's 80% of the work done for me to go, yeah, actually, I'd love to work with you, because I just love catchy choruses. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just prefer them. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm working with a few guys at the moment. Obviously, I said about Bobby Strider. Got my guy LDN as well. Guy called Scorer, who sort of lives local with me. Like, I'm going to try and link up with him and help him out with a few bits as well once we get moving after COVID. I've got a few tunes sort of low-key coming out with a few people, but as with Grime, I never like to say too much, just in case it doesn't get over the finish line, and then I look like a donut. So, but yeah, fingers crossed a few things come off, man.
Nice, man. I mean, it's exciting stuff. It's good. It's been good to have you on the show as well. Obviously, it's we speak quite often through just in general on Twitter anyway, so it's quite cool to kind of get you on and have a proper conversation about how you're feeling about grime, how you're feeling about music in the UK in general. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun having you on.
Yeah, man, fully appreciate it.
No worries at all, sir. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up with one more tune from yourself. It goes by the name of Patient. Talk to me about this one.
Again, like in keeping with sort of the EP, it's just a sort of mellow. It's a mellow one, but again, it's a beat that I'd hope that someone can listen to and take something out of. So you might be feeling a certain way, might have had a bit of a rubbish day. You know, stuff might not be going great for you or whatever, but you can spit bars. So I'm hoping that people can hear this beat and think, right, now let me vent on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One
good
of those
stuff.
ones.
Really good stuff. All right then, dude. Well, it's been really fun. One time, what is the best social media tag for people to get you on?
It's Lumes. Everything's It's Lumes. ITS Lumes. LUMES.
Lovely stuff. Well, that's going to be it for the show. Thank you for coming on. And it's been really fun. And we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, I'll catch you soon, brother.
No worries at all, bro. Speak soon, stay safe, all that good stuff.
Peace.
Bless. Right then, friends, this one will be the last one from me. Massive shouts out to everyone who's been locked in this morning. It's been a really fun show. Massive shouts out to Yemi, and of course, massive shouts out to Lumes as well for jumping on the line for the last half an hour or so. So, what we're going to do, we're going to finish up with a few updates, of course. If you want to get hold of me on socials, you can get me on Insta, Facebook, as well, of course, as Twitter and SoundCloud as well. All of those are at KXVU. As well as that, for the SoundCloud, you can catch the podcast on there. It's this show, obviously, with the audio all cut out, so it's just the conversation. That also goes up onto Apple Music and Spotify. Just search Breakfast with COVID, the interviews, to find that. As well as that as well, Sharpen Digital. There we go. They are our official sponsors on this show. They do provide us with a lot of SEO help in regards to search engine stuff. So the alternative to hiring social media managers, if you've got a project, then let us know. As well as that, we are going to be looking here at what we've got coming up this evening. As you can see, Does It Still Bang? We're going to be looking at this evening. This is the new addition to the channel. It's the new show we're going to be running every couple of weeks. We're going to go back and look through classic tunes from different periods of UK music. The first few shows are going to be based on Channel U, looking through classic Channel U bangers and seeing if they still bang or not. So there we go. The first episode of that drops at 6 o'clock tonight on Cubcam TV. Make sure you're locked in. Subscribe to the channel. All of that good stuff. We are building something something very special here indeed, and this will be the last one from me. So as I said before, hit subscribe on the channel. Do me a favor, throw a like on the video as well. We are trying to grow and hit 1,000 within the next 50 days. We're trying to hit 700 by the end of the week as well. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button. Let's get there. The sooner we get there, the more we get pushed by YouTube and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's been fun. Keep it locked. This one coming from Lumes to finish us out, going by the name of Patient, and I will see you in the morning. Peace.
Hey Lumes, run the blood clot with him, rude boy.